Quiet on the set.
Welcome back to Mitzi's Kitchen. This evening we're doing comfort food. The weather's turning cooler. It's fall now, and it makes us all want something warm and comforting. So what we're doing is chicken and dumplings two ways. Of course, one for meat eaters, one for vegetarians. I've been sauteing in this kettle about 4 cups of mixed vegetables, which are just carrots, celery, and onion, in about 2 tablespoons of vegetable oil. In the vegetarian side, we're doing less. We have 2 cups of the vegetables in about 1 tablespoon of vegetable oil. Now these are nice and limp. What we're going to do is add about 2 tablespoons of flour to this side. Just sprinkle it on top. We've got about 1/4 cup of flour. The side that we're going to put the chicken in. Let's mix that up. We want to cook the flour so we get rid of that floury taste. Takes just a few minutes. So let's mix those around. We're going to be adding a total of 2 cups of chicken stock to the vegetarian side, vegetable stock. And I'm going to start out by adding just a little bit, turn my heat up to medium again, just to let the flour cook for a while. So, pour in about 1/4 of a cup of it, and it's going to get real thick and gummy. Let's do the same with the other side. And this flour is going to give us a nice thick gravy that we will be cooking our dumplings in just a few minutes. So we'll let that sit, saute for another few minutes, and just cook that flour taste away. In the meantime, let's get our dumplings prepared so they're ready when we need them. In here, I have 1.5 cups of all-purpose flour. I've got 2 teaspoons of baking powder and about 1/4 teaspoon of salt. I've got 1 tablespoon of dried chives and about 1 teaspoon of dried basil. They've all been mixed up, and we're going to add to that 2/3 cup of milk, 2 eggs slightly beaten, and 2 teaspoons of vegetable oil. 2 tablespoons of vegetable oil. Mix that up. If you want the easy way out on these dumplings, Bisquick has a great recipe that is quite a bit simpler than this one. But if you don't have Bisquick, this is your alternative. You want that to form a nice sticky dough. Get your flour incorporated. Okay, we're going to let that sit now for just until we're ready for it. You don't have to let it sit at all, but it certainly doesn't hurt it. And now we're going to add the rest of our chicken broth and vegetable broth to our pans. So total, I have 4 cups of chicken broth. I've poured a little bit in. Let's get the rest in there and get our heat turned up just a little bit because we want to bring this to a low boil. Same for our vegetarian side. That was about 2 cups total of vegetable broth. Mix that in well. Turn the heat up on that side too. Okay, we're going to let this cook here for about, I'd say maybe 10 minutes. Just on a low rolling boil. Watch it and keep it stirred so you don't have any sticking. And when we come back, we'll add the rest of our ingredients. Actually, right now, let's go ahead and put our parsley in. I'm sorry, I wasn't quite finished. I have about 2 tablespoons of parsley on this side. Add a tablespoon here. We have a little bit of Old Bay seasoning. This is probably a tablespoon total, so let's divide it between the two. 2/3 of it there, 1/3 of it here. A little salt here. I'd say about a teaspoon, and a 1/2 teaspoon here. Ground pepper, a 1/2 teaspoon here, a 1/4 teaspoon here. Now we'll mix that up and let it cook down just a little bit and thicken. Okay, we'll be back in just a few minutes to finish this off. Hi, we're back again. We have our vegetables been cooking in our vegetable and chicken broth now for probably about 10 minutes. We have a nice thick consistency here. Nice gravy-like consistency. What I'm going to do is add the rest of our ingredients. We have some frozen peas here. This is approximately 3/4 of a cup. You don't want to add those in with the rest of the vegetables at first because they get way too mushy. And we're near the end of the cooking process here. We have about 20 minutes total to go. So let's get our peas in. We're going to add our meat substitute here. This is, of course, a soy product. We've just chopped it up into bite-sized pieces. We want this to come back up to temperature, so raise the temperature just a little bit. You want it at a low boil. Same for over here. That was approximately 1.5 cups of soy product. This is about 4 cups of cooked chicken. Yesterday I cooked a whole fryer, a pretty good sized fryer, and this is what I had left over, so I deboned it and we get a double use out of it. You can use just chicken breast if you want to. I personally like the dark meat also. So if you do, you can buy boneless breasts and thighs, mix them together, or do one or the other. It works out both ways. So let's bring this back to temperature. I'm going to add a little more broth on my chicken side because it turned out a little bit too thick for my dumplings. So let's turn the temperature up. We'll add a little bit of this reserved vegetable broth over here and it will work just fine. Okay, let's bring that up to temperature. Our vegetable side is ready for the dumplings. You can drop these by tablespoons full, or this handy little scoop works fine too. They're nice and gummy now, but they'll be very tender by the time they're cooked up. Come off of there. Looks like our chicken side is getting up to temperature here. You might need a little help here from a spoon to get that off of there. Okay, let's distribute those evenly there. We're going to let those cook uncovered for 10 minutes. Get off of there. Okay. Now we go over here to our meat side. Do the same thing. You don't have to be too careful about this. They won't turn out perfect anyway. Well, I thought this handy little scooper was going to be the answer. I might opt for just a couple of spoons next time. Okay, we're going to get one more out of here. A small one with that. Okay, what we do is we let this cook uncovered for 10 minutes. Then we'll put the lids on, cook them for 10 minutes longer, and it's all finished and ready to eat. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you back here in about 20 minutes. Our dumplings have been cooking for 20 minutes total now. That's 10 without the lid and 10 minutes with the lid on to steam them and get them nice and plump. We have our vegetarian chicken and dumplings here and our meat chicken and dumplings here. I'm sure you heard the phone ring just before we went to break. That was my younger sister, much younger sister, that we call Aunt B, calling to ask about another recipe that we posted a few days ago. So anyway, thank you for joining us again, and we'll see you next time on Mitzi's Kitchen. Good night.